All right, guys, just trying to give a little update on progress on my Integra. I got quite a bit accomplished since the last video. I know it's been a little bit since I've uploaded. Went on vacation, and then I've only been able to just do a few little things here and there on it. So I haven't kind of just did a bunch of little things, and then I'll make a video of like everything I did. Unfortunately, I know you guys did see the last video. If you watched it, I did have the motor and transmission in it. Well, unfortunately, I was getting some stuff together and I got my shift linkage attached and tried all the gears, and I could not get it into first or second. There's something inside the transmission that's causing it to not be able to rock over and go into first and second. I'm almost confident, like 90% sure, before I put the motor and the transmission together and put them in the car, that I had put a screwdriver, because you can take like a screwdriver on the back side of the transmission where the shift linkage goes on here. There's a hole. You can put like a screwdriver in there and rotate it and push it in and out, check all the gears. I swear I had done that and all the gears worked, but once I got it in the car and got the shift linkage attached, it wouldn't go in first and second. It's like when it was trying to rotate over and go in and out, it wouldn't completely rotate over. So like it was hitting something in the transmission is not right. So I had to take it back out, and I'm about to take it apart right now. But I did want to give a quick update on some other things. Like, I did get my wiring harness in. You can see it there. It's pretty much all plugged in. The only thing that's not plugged in is like throttle body, the throttle position sensor, the map sensor, intake air temperature sensor, stuff like that, because I don't have my intake manifold and throttle body on yet. I replaced the thermostat and thermostat gasket. I can't remember from the last video if I showed, but this fan switch sensor did break on me, so I got a new one of that in. I did get my header on, as you can see. Header's on, the radiator is in, my new skunk to aluminum radiator. I got my AFR sensor in my header. I just got to get it run through the firewall to go to the AFR gauge. I got my polyurethane bushing, shifter bushings in there, and I got the one that goes up in there. So I got those all in. I got my torque mounts on. I got AC and alternator belts on. It's pretty much everything I've done so far. Like I said, I was getting really close. Excuse me. I basically just need to put like the intake manifold on, throttle body on, the intake, and then fill it with oil and coolant and start it. But when like I said, I checked that, was trying to check all the gears, and they ended up not going to first and second. So I've got to take the transmission apart and see what's going on with that. I do have to cut my test pipe and shorten it because the header is too long, so my test pipe doesn't fit in between the rest of the cat back and the header anymore, so I'm gonna have to cut it and take an inch or two out of it. I'm moving soon, probably into a county that has emissions, so I might have to actually just cut a section out of my test pipe and maybe weld like a high flow cat in or something, just so I can get through emissions. But yeah, that's pretty much everything I've done. Motor's really close to being started, but as soon as I get this transmission apart and figure out what's wrong, I'll give you guys an update. All right, guys, I've found the issue. Now I've just got to figure out how to fix it. I'm pretty sure I mentioned in my video where I was putting the transmission together that I had bought some heavy duty detent springs. So basically behind this bolt and this bolt, there's a spring kind of like this. This is the factory spring, and there's a little ball, and it goes in a detent, and it just kind of helps the gears stay in position, and it helps gives a little bit of since the spring gets compressed, it makes it like the shift's kind of a little stiffer, just to make it feel good, the shifter. And going with the heavy duty springs, basically it's a stiffer spring than this. It just makes your shifts feel real crisp and firm. But it seems like I'm having an issue with them, because I was getting ready to split the case apart, so I took these two bolts out, because you gotta take them out to pull the case apart, and I can shift through all my gears now. So now I've put them back in the opposite positions, and originally I couldn't get in first and second. After I switched them, now I can't get in third and fourth. So it seems like I'm having an issue with like one of the springs. So I tried my factory spring, but I'm still having the issue. So I don't know if I'm having an issue with a bolt or one of the balls or one of the springs. But one thing I'm gonna do is, one of my coworkers has a GSR transmission over here on the shelf. I'm gonna go grab all his stock parts, the bolts, the balls, the springs, everything, put them in this transmission, and see if I can get through all the gears, and then I'll know something's having an issue with the springs or something. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then we'll see what happens. You guys, I am mad. So, as you can see, I have a lot of bolts and springs and balls here. My coworker's transmission over there on the floor. I took his springs and his bolts and his balls to try them inside my transmission. I put them in. I could shift through all my gears perfectly fine. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, everything worked great. So I was like, okay, I have something wrong with my new heavy duty springs that I got or something. I don't remember if in the video I put the transmission together I mentioned that I had lost one of these balls. So I have a Integra LS transmission at home, so I grabbed one out of there and brought it and put it in here. And they look the exact same, and I'm pretty sure they are. But I was looking at my bolts, and I looked down inside one of my bolts, and there was something that looked a little different than the others. This ball was stuck in this bolt, because that's where I put it to keep it safe from losing it, and I thought I lost it, and it was down in there stuck. So I had a ball in a bolt, and then a spring, and then another ball. So it compressed the freaking springs so tightly that I couldn't shift through gears. So now that I have this ball out and all my bolts are clear, I'm gonna put them back in there, and I can almost guarantee you I'll be able to shift through all the gears. Which means I didn't have to remove the transmission. Which means I wouldn't be here this late. Which means I still wouldn't have to be putting it back in the car. Because I could have just taken the bolts out if I knew that. But I thought this ball was gone forever, and it was just chilling inside this bolt stuck. All right, guys, I got everything back together. Transmission's back in, reattached. You know, I got the starter on and plugged everything in, the speed sensor, filled it with fluid, got the axles in, the ball joints, all that. Wheels are on it, set on the ground. Pretty much back to where the starting point was of where I was before I pulled the transmission. I'm pretty sure I got the shifting issue fixed. Like I said, I got that ball was stuck down inside the bolt. Got that out, got the springs in, and now with the screwdriver and the shifter going into the transmission, I could get through all the gears. About to hop in it and just make sure I can actually get it in all the gears with the actual gear lever. But I'm still gonna figure out right now, make sure we're good to go. So right now we're in neutral, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Okay. So we should be good. Guess that's all it was. Just a stupid little detent ball stuck down in my bolt. Made for a very pleasant late night at the shop. It is currently like, I don't even know what time it is, honestly. It's like 9:30. It's not super late, but today's a weekday. I've been here since 8 o'clock working, so I worked 8 to 5:30. And then I've been here now till 9:30, so I've been here another 4 hours. Pulling the trans out, trying to figure out what was wrong, figuring out the problem, and getting it all back in there. So I've been working for like 13 hours straight, very tired. I'm going home. Hope to catch you guys on the next video.